Shortly before he died, he was interviewed on home video. As a retired brigadier general, he is the highest-ranking officer ever to comment on the Roswell incident.
It was a cover story. The balloon part of it is the story that's to be given to the press, and that is it, and anything else, forget it. And McMullen, if you ever knew him, if you told him that he wanted to run something, he goddamn sure ran it. He knew every facet of the operation. He's a busybody. He wanted to know what the hell was going on, who was pissing on the sidewalk, and all that sort of thing.
General McMullen, the deputy head of Strategic Air Command at the Pentagon, was in charge of the entire operation, according to General DuBose.
McMullen told me, "You are not to discuss this, and this is a point of which this is more than top secret," as he said. It's beyond that. It's within my priority as deputy to George Kennedy, and he in turn responsible to the president. This is the highest priority you can exist, and you will say nothing. And that's the end of it. And Jesus, that's in the commander-in-chief, and you forgot about it.
The revelations of DuBose suggest that the American Air Force did indeed have something important to hide.
There's no question about that. General DuBose said that specifically to us, that the balloon explanation that the Air Force offered was a cover story. Do you get the reporters off General Rainey's back? So we have a wide body of testimony that it was a cover-up. We have military witnesses saying they were sworn to secrecy. We have radio employees telling us that they were told if they broadcast their interview with Mac Brazel, they better look for a new job because they'd be out of the radio business the next day. We can show that beyond a shadow of a doubt. There's no question there was a cover-up. The question is, what were they hiding?
What could the Air Force have been hiding for the last 40 years? One man who may hold the key to the Roswell mystery is Frank Kaufman. Kaufman claims that in 1947 he was a master sergeant in personnel at Roswell Army Airfield. But what was not known at the time, he says, is that he was also a covert member of a highly secret counterintelligence unit codenamed the Nine. Tonight, Kaufman reveals for the first time what he claims is the true story of the Roswell incident.
I was assigned to Roswell in 1942. My duties at that time was somewhat classified. The events that led up to the 1947 incident is rather peculiar because there is a lot of erratic movement on the radar screen, and this called our attention that maybe we better monitor those screens. They sent some of us to Alamogordo, the White Sands, to view the blips on the screens. The blips were just dancing from one end of the screen to the other, and then all of a sudden there was kind of a flash, and it just disappeared. Well, that indicated that possibly maybe a plane or a missile or something just went down.
Kaufman says he and his team immediately drove east from Alamogordo, back to Roswell, then towards a location about 45 miles south of the Foster Ranch.
And this was late at night. We started to clip some of the wire fence and drove into the area. The terrain was very rough at the time. There was no roads leading into it. We saw this glow of light, just this kind of a halo of a light, just kind of beaming out. We got to, I guess, maybe 200 yards, maybe 300 yards from where it was. And we learned right then and there it wasn't a plane, it wasn't a missile, it was kind of a strange-looking craft that was embedded in the arroyo. See? The size of the craft, I would say possibly maybe around 20, 25 feet in length, and it was open and kind of halfway, and one body was thrown up against the wall of the arroyo. The other one was half in and half out of the craft. And when we got in close, we noticed that there were 3 others inside the craft. Then we radioed in back to the base to have a truck, a flatbed, and a crane and everything else just come out to the site, and we prepared everything to clear everything off.
Frank Kaufman provided us with what he claims is a copy of his official report on the Roswell incident. A top-secret document containing observations and sketches of what he saw at the time.
We saw panels of controls. We couldn't make them out. They were writings. We didn't know what it. We couldn't decipher it or anything of that nature. And the underbelly of the craft had a series of cells, quartz type cells, sort of glass-looking cells, Arctic in shape.
This is the actual site where Kaufman says he saw the strange craft for the first time. This is an artist's impression of the aliens based on Kaufman's own descriptions.
We noticed one thing, that deterioration was beginning to set in on one of the bodies of the hands. We noticed the hands, the skin trying to shrivel up, and that's the reason why we put them in the bags real in a hurry and got them out to the base hospital. They called the mortuary here to find out if there was anything that they could preserve the bodies with.
The base also inquired about the availability of child-sized coffins, and later there was another call to the town undertaker.
And I received a call later from the same mortuary officer stating that what embalming fluids consisted of, what would it do to the blood contents, what would it do to tissues, stomach contents, and how would it alter it. And I informed him what the answers that he wanted.
Glenn Dennis also had the ambulance contract to ferry any injured servicemen to the base. That same day, he took an airman to the hospital and was amazed to find himself being roughly escorted off the base by military policemen who told him he had no right to be there.
As they were taking me out, there was a door that was open over to the left, and there was a nurse coming out that had a towel over a portion of her face, and she looked up and she recognized me, and she said, "Glenn, get out of here. Get out of here as fast as you can. You're going to get in a lot of trouble." Then the next morning, she called me about 10 o'clock or so and said that she would like to see me, that we had to talk.